Hello everyone. In the previous session we have studied the concept of mean and standard deviation, where we used to find the average value or a deviation of a given data. Whatever may be the given data, we used to find the mean, right? Suppose if you have two persons, say A and B, let us take their batsmen. Fine. So I have two batsmen, A and B. Now if we want to find among two batsmen A and B, who is more stable, that is who is more consistent. So in such a case we need to compare score of a batsman A with the score of batsman B. So we say that is relative comparison. So to find the relative comparison between two batsmen A and B, we will use the new concept called coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation. It is also called as variability. Variability. Let me repeat once again. Coefficient of variation or variability is none other than relative measure of dispersion or deviation, and moreover it is used to compare the variability of two series. Fine, any series generally. So it is used to compare variability of any two series. So it is generally denoted by CV. Fine, and this concept was developed by Carl Pearson. Fine, so he is the one who developed coefficient of variation. So as per him, coefficient of variation is none other than, sigma is none other than a standard deviation. As I already told you, sigma is a representation which we use for standard deviation. So coefficient of variation is given by sigma divided by x bar into 100. That is, it is the percentage variation of a mean with respect to standard deviation. I just repeat once again, coefficient of variation is the percentage variation of a sigma, that is standard deviation, with respect to mean as per Carl Pearson. Fine. Generally, coefficient of variation will be used to compare the relative variability between any two types of series. Either they are the scores of batsmen or they may be score obtained by any two students. So generally it is obtained to compare variability or what we say relative measure between two series. Whenever the variability is more, that is, let me write here, if the variability for a certain thing is more, then consistency is less. Consistency is less. They are just like an inversely proportional. If the variability is low, then consistency will be high. In the sense, variability is none other than coefficient of variation, one and the same. Coefficient of variation is also called as variability. So if the value of variability is more, then consistency is less. If the value of variability is less, then consistency is more. They are just inversely proportional. I'll give you a simple example. If a person A or if a batsman A, if you are going to calculate a coefficient of variation, suppose if you are going to get 3. Fine. For a batsman B, let me calculate coefficient of variation. So you are going to get 2. Fine. Among person A and B, batsman A and B, coefficient of variation is less for B. Coefficient of variation is less for batsman B. So if the variability is less, then consistency is more. Fine. Consistency is more. So among batsman A and B, B is more consistent than batsman A. So remember, if they are inversely proportional. If the variability is high, that is coefficient of variation is high, then consistency is less. If the consistency is less, then coefficient of variability is high. Similarly, if the variability is low, then consistency is high. So they are just like an inversely proportional. So, and you have to remember this formula, that is coefficient of variation is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100, where sigma is none other than standard deviation. Standard deviation. Fine. And x bar is none other than arithmetic mean. Clear? Now, so if one data is given and if they ask you to find another, you have to find. So this is what the concept of coefficient of variation is. And now let me solve a few problems on the concept. Now here I have a problem. So these kind of problems will be asked for 2 mark questions. So it is very important. Now let us look at the first problem. What is the given data? Find the coefficient of variation. Given mean is equal to 1.2 and standard deviation, ST stands for standard deviation, is 1.378. So what we have to find is coefficient of variation. First let me write down the given data. So what is the given data? Coefficient of variation we have to calculate. So CV is equal to question mark. Next, mean is given. Mean is none other than x bar. X bar is equal to 1.2. Next, standard deviation is given. So it is denoted by sigma. Sigma is equal to 1.378. Clear? So this is what the given data. We have to calculate coefficient of variation. So let me write down the formula. Coefficient of variation is given by, what is the formula? It is sigma divided by x bar into 100. Now let me substitute. Coefficient of variation is equal to sigma is 1.378 divided by x bar is 1.2 into 100. So that will give you, let me simplify, make use of calculator. Let me do it. 1.378 divided by 1.2 into 100. So that will give you coefficient of variation is 114.833. Clear? Now let me solve one more problem. Coefficient of variation we have to find out. And I'll just send you the introduction part. After that you put the heading and you just copy the same problems in the notes. So given that mean is given, mean is 39.5 and standard deviation is given, standard deviation is sigma. Sigma is equal to 9.58. Fine. Now I have to calculate CV. Formula is sigma divided by x bar into 100. So sigma is 9.58 divided by x bar is 39.5 into 100. Clear? So if you simplify this, you will get 24.2531. So this is the required coefficient of variation. Now let me solve a similar problem. So we have to find coefficient of variation. So arithmetic mean is given, that is x bar, it is 9.58 and standard deviation, that is sigma, is equal to 14.20. Same, use the formula coefficient of variation is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100. Sigma is 14.20 divided by, and x bar is given, right? So x bar is 9.58 into 100. And one more thing, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. Whenever you are going to calculate coefficient of variation, since we are multiplying it with 100, that is, it is something like a percentage. So remember, it is very important. So when you calculate coefficient of variation, you have to put percentage here. Fine. So you just simplify this, you will get, after simplification, use calculator, you will get 148.2254%. Why? Because coefficient of variation is calculated with respect to percentage. So it is a percentage variation of, that is what the definition is, percentage variation of standard deviation with respect to mean. So you have to put percentage here after finding the coefficient of variation. Remember, you should not forget to put percentage here. So coefficient of variation will be in terms of percentage. So you have to put the percentage there. Fine. Now let me solve one more problem based on the same concept, but it is quite different. Now given coefficient of variation is 56%. So as I said, coefficient of variation will be always in terms of percentage. So it is given in terms of percentage. So CV is equal to 5.6% and the standard deviation, that is sigma value, is 19.2. Then we have to find arithmetic mean, that is x bar we have to calculate. Anyhow, we have to use the same formula. CV is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100. Now CV is given, it is 56. So it is 56, right? So it is given 56. I have written it as 5.6. So please let me correct. So it is 56%. Now 56 is equal to 19.2 sigma divided by x bar is unknown. We need to calculate. So let me keep as it is. Now let me cross multiply. So x bar will be 19.2 divided by 56 into 100. So 19.2 divided by 56. 19.2 divided by 56 into 100. That will give you 34.28. Therefore, the required mean is 34.28. Everything is same, but here the unknown is mean. So you have to keep mean as it is. Now let me do a few more problems in coefficient of variation. Now you can note that here we have to find the which of the batsmen is more consistent in scoring. So here they have given two batsmen A and B and the scores obtained by them. So we have to find which of the batsmen is more consistent. And you might get confusion that whether A is X and B is F. No, it is not the case. Remember, A is one batsman, so it is only X value of 1. So one person. B is another batsman, so it is the X value of another batsman. Fine. So both the values are X, whereas these values are X values for A, whereas in the second line they are the values of X for B. Suppose if the problem is given something like this, so where we have to find out coefficient of variation and standard deviation as well. But here they are clearly mentioned that we have class interval and frequency. But in this case it is not the same. Why? Because it is given that two batsmen are given, A and B, and the scores obtained by them. So it is only X values of A and B are given. We have to compare the coefficient of variation of both the batsmen. For that, first let me calculate coefficient of variation of batsman A and batsman B. So let me write for batsman A, and I am going to write batsman B here. Fine. So X values of batsman A is given. So it is 5, 7, 16, 27, 39, 53, 56, 61, 80, 101, 105. So batsman A scores is given. So it is the values of X. Similarly, I'll divide it. So let me write batsman B score. It is X values of B 0, 4, 16, 21, 24. 21, after that 41, next 43, 57, 78, 83, 93 and 5. Now our aim is to find which batsman is more consistent. As I already told you at the introduction session of this class that we can decide the consistency by looking at the coefficient of variation values, right? So we have to determine coefficient of variation of batsman A and batsman B. So let me write the formula for coefficient of variation. It is sigma divided by X bar into 100. So as I said, sigma is standard deviation, right? So X bar is mean. So since it is an ungrouped data, to find the value of X bar, as I already told you, how can we find for ungrouped data? It is sigma X divided by N. In the sense, I have to, where N is the number of data given. So we have to find X bar first. So let me find X bar. So X bar will be sigma X. Sigma X in the sense, you just add all these values so that you will get sigma X value. So let me add all these values. Suppose if you are going to add these values, you will get 550. You just add all these values, you will get 550. Now N is the number of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So N value is 11. So I can calculate mean by substituting 550 divided by 11. So therefore the required mean is 550 divided by 11 will give you 50. Fine. So mean value I have obtained. Now what do we need to calculate is standard deviation, right? Now let me write the formula for standard deviation. Since it is an ungrouped data where only X values are given, so we can use the formula throughout whatever the method you want you can use, but throughout this coefficient of variation I'll use the formula sigma d square divided by n. Sigma is equal to square root of d square divided by n. Clear? Where d will be calculated with reference to mean. I'm going to use actual mean method where I'm going to calculate with reference to mean, that is X bar values. Clear? Anyhow, I have calculated X bar here. So that is the reason I am going to calculate throughout the coefficient of variation. I'll use the same formula. Remember. Fine. Now let me calculate D values here. So how can I calculate D? As I said, it is X minus X bar. Since we already calculated X bar value, it is 50. Right? So it is easy to calculate X bar value. So X bar is 50. Now 5 minus 50 is minus 45. 7 minus 50 minus 43. 16 minus 50. 16 minus 50 minus 34. 27 minus 50 minus 23. 39 minus 50 minus 11. 53 minus 50 is 3. 56 minus 50 6. 61 minus 50 11. 80 minus 50 30. 101 minus 50 51. 105 minus 50 is 55. So I have calculated D value. Now what else is required? D square. So whatever the value you have obtained, you have to square it. So let me calculate D square. It is like minus 45 whole square. Whatever D value is there, you just square it. So you will get 2025. Similarly, minus 43 whole square, 1849. Minus 34 whole square, 1156. Minus 23 whole square, 529. 11 square, 121. 3 square, 9. 6 square, 36. Again 11 square, 121. 30 square, 900. 51 square, 2601. 55 square, 3025. Fine, I have calculated the values of D square. Now what else is required? N is already I have. Sigma D square I needed. So sigma D square, in the sense I have to add all these values. So if you add all these values in the D square column, you will get 12372. Fine. Now let me substitute in first we have to calculate, before finding CV we have to calculate sigma, that is standard deviation. So let me substitute sigma D square divided by N we have. Right, so let me calculate the value of standard deviation. Sigma D square is square root of 12372 divided by N is number of items, it is 11. Right, so if you simplify this, you will get, you just use the calculator, you will get 33.5369. Fine, I'll just show you here. See here, 12372 divided by 11 and take square root for that. So you will get 33.5369. That is what I have written. So I have obtained standard deviation. But what we need to calculate is CV. That is coefficient of variation. Right. So let me calculate CV here. So I'll just do here. CV is equal to standard deviation value is. So I have done here. So let me substitute. It is sigma is 33.5369 divided by X bar is mean. It is 50 into 100. Fine. So CV will be, you just simplify this value, you will get 67.0738. And remember, you should, when you are going to calculate CV, you should not forget to put percentage sign. So you have to put percentage symbol. So CV for batsman A is 67.0738%. Now we have to do the CV for batsman B in order to determine whether who is consistent among A and B. So we have to determine CV for both. So as I done CV for batsman A, we have to repeat the same procedure to find CV for batsman B. Now what we have to do is, first we have to calculate mean, that is X bar is equal to sigma X by N. So let me calculate mean. Sigma X is none other than, you have to add all these values. So instead of, when you are going to take it as X, since I have already taken it as X, so in order to avoid confusion, instead of taking X, let me take it as Y. Just wherever X is there, I am going to assume it as Y, just to avoid confusion. Fine. So Y bar I am going to calculate. So sigma Y I need. Sigma Y, in the sense you have to add all these values. So if you add all these values, you will get 440. You just add all these values, you will get 440. Next, N is as usual, it is number of data, clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So N value is 11. Fine. Now let me calculate D value. So whatever we have done for batsman A, same procedure you have to repeat as I told you. Now sigma will be square root of sigma D square divided by N. Before that, let me calculate mean here only. So it is 440 divided by 11. Right. So let me calculate the mean. 440 divided by 11. That will give you 40. So mean value is 40. So D will be Y minus Y bar. Whatever the value you have obtained, you just subtract. So Y bar is 40 here. Now 0 minus 40 is minus 40. 4 minus 40 minus 36. 16 minus 40 is minus 24. 21 minus 40 is minus 19. 41 minus 40 is plus 1. 43 minus 40 is 3. 57 minus 40 is 17. 78 minus 40 is 38. 83 minus 40 is 43. Next, 93 minus 40 is 53. 5 minus 40 is minus 35. So I have calculated D value. Next, what else is required? D square. To substitute in the formula, you need the value of sigma D square. So for that, I have to calculate sum, right? Sum of D square, right? So D square is minus 40 whole square is 1600. Minus 36 whole square is 36 into 36. So 1296. Fine. So similarly, 24 whole square is 576. 19 whole square is 361. 1 square is 1. 3 square 9, 17 square 289, and then 38 square is 144. Next 43 square is 1849, 53 square is 2809, 35 square is 1225. Fine. Now let me calculate sigma d square. Sigma d square is none other than you have to add all these values. So if you add all these values, you will get 11459. 11459. Clear? 11459. It is sigma d square value. Fine. Now sigma d square I have obtained. I can calculate standard deviation here easily just by substituting. Sigma d square is 11459 divided by n is number of data, it is 11. So if you simplify this, you will get, I just do it directly. See here, 11459 divided by 11. You have to take square root of answer. So you will get 32.27. Fine. So this is the sigma value. Clear? And now let me calculate coefficient of variation. It is sigma divided by x bar into 100. So coefficient of variation is sigma is 32.27 divided by x bar, in the sense y bar. In place of x I have chosen y. So it is 40 into 100. So you can do directly, it is 32.27 divided by 40 into 100. So that will give you 80.675. So coefficient of variation for batsman B is 80.675. Now at the beginning of this session I have clearly told you, whenever you have highest CV value, then lowest consistency. Right? Similarly, whenever you have lowest CV value, highest consistency. Right? You just remember that. Now look at the coefficient of variation of batsman A and batsman B. For batsman A, coefficient of variation is 67 point something. For batsman B, CV is 80. So among these two, highest coefficient of variation is for batsman B. So batsman B is less consistency. Since CV is high, so consistency is less. Right? So let me write one statement. I'll just write here. Hence, CV of batsman A is less than batsman B. Hence, batsman A is more consistent. More consistent. I'll just repeat once again. Whenever they ask you to find the consistency, you have to use the formula coefficient of variation. The method will not be mentioned in the question. First you calculate coefficient of variation for both the batsmen, and for that you have to calculate what we say standard deviation by using this formula. I have written this formula clearly. Fine. And mean as well. Now after finding coefficient of variation, reference is coefficient of variation, not sigma. I am repeating again. So look at the coefficient of variation for both the batsmen. The batsman who is having less coefficient of variation will be having highest consistency. So in batsman A and batsman B, lowest CV is for batsman A. So he is having more consistency. That is what I have written. Hence CV of batsman A is less than batsman B. Therefore a batsman A is more consistent than a batsman B. Here is the problem. So we have to find a similar problem to that. So following are runs scored by two batsmen in 10 innings. No matter what may be the innings, find who is better scorer and who is more consistency. Here we have two questions. That is, we have to find better scorer as well as we have to find consistent scorer. That is, who is more consistent among X and Y. Here also there are two batsmen are given. So let me divide it. So I'll just write batsman X, and this is for batsman Y. So first let me list the score by batsman X. So 101, these are the scores, right? 0, 36, 82, 45, 7, 30, 65, 14. For batsman Y, 97, 12, 40, 96, 13, 8, 85, 8, 56, 16. Now for the first question, it is very simple. See here, following are the runs scored by two batsmen. In the sense, they are given data to us is a run scored by a batsman. What we have to find is who is better scorer. Better scorer is first sub question is for better scorer, right? Better scorer in the sense if you are going to add the x values, that is the run scored by batsman x and run scored by batsman y. And among those two value, what is the highest value, that will be the highest score, right? So meaning is, let me add x values so that when you are going to add all these values, you will get 385. Similarly, add all these values so that you will get summation of y is equal to 431. Fine. Now, by these two data, you can clearly conclude that run scored by batsman y is more compared to run scored by batsman x. Right? Why? Because x and y are scores of the batsman. So, sum of the scores of batsman y is more than sum of the scores of batsman x. Right? So, y is more scorer. That is, batsman y is more scorer than batsman x. Now, we have to find consistency. For consistency, we have to determine the coefficient of variation. So, as I said, what is the formula for coefficient of variation? It is sigma divided by x bar, right? Before that, we have to find mean, that is x bar. Anyhow, it is ungrouped data, so you will use the formula sigma x by n. I have calculated sigma x value, it is 385 divided by n value is number of data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So n value is 10. So let me divide so that you will get x bar is equal to 38.5. So mean value I have obtained. Next we have to calculate sigma, that is standard deviation. It is given by square root of sigma d square divided by n, where d is calculated by using the formula x minus x bar. Why? Because we have already calculated x bar value, it is 38.5. Clear? Now let me calculate d value. It is given by x minus x bar, where x bar is 38.5. Now let me do the subtraction. So 101 minus 38.5 is 62.5. 22 minus 38.5 minus 16.5. 0 minus 38.5 minus 38.5. 36 minus 38.5 minus 2.5. 82 minus 38.5 43.5. 45 minus 38.5 6.5. Next 7 minus 38.5 minus 31.5. 13 minus 38.5 minus 25.5. 65 minus 38.5 26.5. 14 minus 38.5 minus 24.5. So we have obtained the d values, right? Next we have to calculate d square. Whatever you have d, you have to square it. 62.5 whole square. I'll just write one value. 62.5 whole square. That will give you 3960.25. Similarly, minus 16.5 whole square is 272.25. Minus 38.5 whole square is 1482.25. Next, minus 2.5 whole square, it is 6.25. Next, 43.5 whole square, 1892.75. Next, 6.5 whole square, 42.25. Minus 31.5 whole square is 992.25. Next, minus 25.5 whole square, 650.25. 26.5 whole square, 702.25. Minus 24.5 whole square is 600.25. So whatever d value I have obtained, I have just squared it. So you have obtained d square value. Next, what we should require is sigma d square. In the sense, you have to add all these values so as to get sigma d square. So when you're going to add all these values, you just use the calculator and add. You will get 10547. Fine. So d square value I have obtained. Now you can easily calculate what we say standard deviation, and is given by square root of 10547 divided by n is number of data, it is 10. So let me substitute. So after simplification, so you will get 32.4761. So sigma is 32.4761. Clear? Now what we have to calculate is coefficient of variation. It is given by sigma divided by x bar into 100. So sigma, it is already known, 32.4761 divided by x bar is 38.5 into 100. Right? So you just simplify this, you will get CV as 84.3506. As I said, when you're going to calculate CV, you have to keep that in percentage. So put percentage symbol there. So I have obtained coefficient of variation for batsman X. Now let me calculate the same coefficient of variation for batsman Y. So I have calculated Y value and sigma Y value. Let me calculate mean. Let me represent it by Y bar. It is given by sigma Y divided by N, where sigma Y is given by 431. I have already done that. Divided by N is number of data, it is 10. So when you divide, you will get 43.1. So Y bar value I have obtained, it is 43.1. Now to calculate standard deviation, so as usual we have to use the formula sigma d square divided by n. Remember, square root is there for denominator as well. So while writing, please take care of that. Fine. So sigma d square. For that I have to find d value. It is calculated by using the formula y minus y bar. Anyhow, y bar I have done here. So let me calculate d. D is given by y minus y bar, where y bar is 43.1. Just the thing is, you have to subtract 97 minus 43.1. Use calculator and you simplify. 97 minus 43.1 is 53.9. Similarly, 12 minus 43.1 minus 31.1. 40 minus 43.1 is minus 3.1. 96 minus 43.1, 52.9. 13 minus 43.1 is minus 43.1 minus 13 minus 43.1 minus 30.1. 8 minus 43.1 is minus 35.1. Similarly, 85 minus 43.1 is 41.9. Similarly, 8 minus 43.1 minus 35.1. 56 minus 43.1 is 12.9. Next, 16 minus 43.1 is minus 27.1. So once you obtain the value of d, it is easy to calculate d square. In the sense, whatever the value you have obtained in d column, you just square it so that you will get d square value. So let me do that. What I have, 53.9, we just put whole cap 2. So you will get 2905.2. Similarly, minus 31, when you square minus, you will get positive value only. Don't worry about it. So you just take positive value only, cap 2. So you will get 967.21. Similarly, 3.1 cap 2, 9.61. 52.9 cap 2 is 2798.41. 30.1 cap 2 is 906.01. 35.1 cap 2 is 1232.01. 41.9 whole cap 2 is 1755.61. 35.1 whole cap 2, 1232.01. 12.9 whole cap 2, 666.41. 27.1 whole cap 2 is 734.41. So I have done d square value. Now to calculate the standard deviation, that is sigma, what we need is sum of the values. That is, you have to add all these d square value. You just add all these values so that you will get sigma d square as 12706.9. Fine. Now let me calculate sigma. It is given by square root of sigma d square is 12706.9 divided by n is 10. So when you do that, total answer is, you will get 35.6467. Fine. Sigma is 35.6467. I will just show you here. 12706.9 divided by 10. You just take square root of answer. You will get 35.6467. Fine. Now let me calculate CV. CV is given by sigma divided by x bar into 100. Sigma is 35.6467 divided by x bar is, y bar you have to use. Instead of x, I have taken y. So y bar is 43.1 into 100. Fine. If you calculate, you will get 82.7069%. Therefore, coefficient of variation for batsman Y is 82.7069. Now this will not give you full mark. This is for 5 mark question. So if you do up to here correctly, you will get 4 mark. So steps is elaboration. You have to practice well, then only you can manage the time. Hope so you understand. Now 1 mark is for conclusion. We have to write who is the better scorer and who is more consistency. Right? Now you can see that for the score, sigma x and sigma y is the sum of the score. So you can see that who is better scorer. It is clearly batsman y, right? So batsman x score is 385, batsman y score is 431. So here we can clearly write conclusion. Therefore, hence batsman y is better scorer. And next question, what is asked? Who is more consistent? So we have to define consistency in terms of CV. Consistency in the sense, the batsman whose CV is less. Whose CV is less will be more consistent. So among A and B, X and Y, CV is less for batsman Y. So if CV is less, more the consistency. So we can clearly say that as CV is less for, let me write here, as CV is, you have to write this, less for batsman Y, therefore batsman Y is more consistent than batsman X. So when compared to batsman X, CV of batsman Y is low. That is why batsman Y is more consistent. And moreover, if you are finding confusion with it, you can see the mean value also. So you just see the mean value which determine the average score, that is maximum score. So who is more scorer there here? Batsman Y, it is 43.1, whereas batsman X, it is 38.5. So better scorer is Y, and moreover CV is less for batsman Y, therefore he is more consistent than batsman X. Fine, hope so it is clear. Now let me solve one more problem. So here is the next question, where we have asked us to find the mean, standard deviation and coefficient of variation for the following data. Here two different quantities are given, age and number of boys. Whereas in the previous problem you can note that scores of two batsmen are given. Both are same quantity. They are not different. Both are same quantity. It is score. So it is x values of one batsman. It is a score of a second batsman. Right? So they are same quantity. But in this problem, age is different and number of boys is different. So this quantity is different. This quantity is different. Right? So it is clear that age should be taken as x and number of boys should be taken as frequency. Clear? You have to identify that. If you practice more problems, you will get clarity. So in the first problem also, that is what I have taken. See here, score is batsman A and score of batsman B. They are same quantity, but in this problem it is different. Age is different and number of boys are different. So first value will be x and second value will be f. So we have to compute standard deviation and coefficient of variation. Mean as well. So let me write given data, that is x values is given 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and f values is given 12, 15, again 15, 5, 3. Fine. Now first we have to calculate mean. So what is the formula for finding mean? Mean is given by x bar is equal to, since it is ungrouped data, grouped data, discrete grouped data. Why? Because x values are given directly and moreover frequency is given. So if that was the case, I have to use the formula sigma fx by n, and where n will be sum of f, right? So n value, let me calculate, it is summation of f. Just you add all these values, so you will get n as 50. Now let me calculate mean. To calculate the mean, I need the value of fx. So multiply f with x. So I have f values and x values. Multiply 13 into 12, 156. Next 14 into 15, 210. 15 into 15, 225. 16 5s are 80. 17 3s are 51. So I have done f of x, f into x value. Now we need sigma fx, right? So to calculate sigma fx, you have to add all the values of fx. So you just add all these values so that you will get 722. So sigma fx I have done. Now you can clearly calculate mean by substituting 722 divided by n is 50. So when you divide, you will get 722 divided by 50. So that will give you 14.44. So required mean is 14.44. Now what else is asked? Standard deviation. Right? So standard deviation, it is ungrouped data. So you cannot use what we have used in the previous problem. So where you have used the sigma d square divided by n. Right? You can see here. So what we used here, summation of sigma d square by n when single x values are given. But here x and f values are given. As I already told you, we have to use assumed mean method. So formula for standard deviation, that is sigma is given by square root of summation of fd square divided by n minus, I have already solved n number of problems of the same method. You can go through that. Sigma ft by n whole square into h. Right, where d is calculated by using the formula x minus a, that is assumed mean. Right, now let me calculate. So let me assume the mean from the column x. Let 15 be the assumed mean. If you want, you can use assumed mean method to find the mean also. Fine. Anyhow, I have used the shortcut method, so not a problem. You can use any of the method to find the mean. So to calculate standard deviation, I will go through this method. So d is calculated by using the formula x minus a. So a is 15. It is assumed mean. So let me subtract 13 minus 15 is minus 2. 14 minus 15 minus 1. 15 minus 15 0. 16 minus 15 1. 17 minus 15 2. So I have done d value. Next d square is needed. So d square in the sense multiply this. Square this. 2 square is 4. 1 square 1. 0 square 0. 1 square 1. 2 square 4. So I have done d square. Next f into d square. Before that I need fd, right? So let me do fd. Then I'll go for f into d square. So I have f values here and d values here. Let me multiply 12 into 2. That is minus 24. 15 into minus 1 minus 15. 15 0 0. 5 into 1 5. 3 2 is 6. So f into d value is done. Now f into d square. F value is here. D square is here. So 12 4s are 48. Next 15 1s are 15. Next 15 0 0. 5 1s are 5. 3 4s are 12. Fine. Fd square I have calculated. Now let me add that. That is sigma fd. So when you add all these values, you will get minus 28. Similarly, sigma fd square. So you add all these values, so you will get 80. Fine. Now let me calculate standard deviation. That is sigma is equal to square root of sigma fd square I need. So sigma fd square is 80 divided by n is 50, as n is sum of frequency, minus sigma fd is minus 28 divided by 50 whole square into h is the difference of a x values, right? So 14 minus 30. 14 minus 13 is 1. 15 minus 14 is 1. 16 minus 15 is 1. So in all the cases h is equal to 1. So multiplied it 1. So let me simplify. So if you divide 80 by 15, I will write one step. 1.6 minus, when you simplify this, you will get 0.3136. So that will give you standard deviation as square root of 1.2864. Therefore standard deviation sigma is equal to 1.1342. Clear? But what we require to find is, so standard deviation is finished, we have to find coefficient of variation. So what is the formula? Sigma divided by x bar into 100. Anyhow data is ready, so let me substitute. 1342 divided by x bar is 14.44 into 100. So let me simplify. So if you multiply this, you will get 7.855%. Remember, when you are writing coefficient of variation, it should be in terms of percent. Fine. So this is what the standard deviation, coefficient of variation and mean is. So you have to read the problem carefully and you have to solve all the concept given. Otherwise you will lose the mark. Hope so it is clear. So here is the homework problems for you. Please solve it in the notes. So this is the first problem, similar to the batsman problem I have done. So you have to do this. So batsman is more consistent in scoring, whatever may be, whether it is in scoring or it is in it is in progress, whatever may be the thing, we have to find consistency. So I have given answer also. Please pause the video and write the problems in the notes and solve the same. So these two problems are homework for you. Clear? Please write both the problems. This is first problem and answer for the first problem. This one is second problem, and you have to do the CV to find the relative consistency. Relative consistency is same as CV. So this is the second problem. Clearly I have kept the answer in percentage, and I have written the conclusion as well. So answer is given for you. Your only thing is you have to solve, and further if you have any doubt, let me clarify in the next session. Anyhow, let me solve one more last problem in coefficient of variation. Please copy the problems, homework problems. Hope so you have done. So here is the last problem that I am going to solve in this method, that is coefficient of variation. So you can note that here class intervals are given in the form of what we say intervals, right? X values are given in the form of class intervals. So it is an example for continuous series. Anyhow, let me write the given data. Class interval 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60. So this is the class interval, and frequency 20, 26, 44, 60, 101, 109, 84, 66, 10. So frequency is given. Next we need to calculate mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variation. So all the three quantities we have to find out. So to find these values, so we need the value of x. So as I already done, before that make sure there should be continuation. Anyhow in a given data we have continuation. So we have to find x value by mid values, that is 15 plus 20 divided by 2. You will get 17.5. Similarly 20 plus 25 divided by 2, 22.5. 25 plus 30 divided by 2, 27.5. So similarly 47.5 and 52.5, 57.5. So these are the x values. Now let me calculate mean. Mean is given by x bar is equal to sigma fx divided by n. So where n is summation of f. Right? So if you add all these values you will get n. So add all these values you will get 520. So n value is 520. Clear? Now we need fx value to find the mean. So f is here, x is here. So you just multiply these two values. 20 into 17.5. You will get 350. Similarly when you multiply this you will get 585, 1250. Similarly 1950. Similarly multiply 101 with 37.5. I'll just show you 101 into 37.5. That will give you 3787.5. Clear? Similarly 109 into 42.5. F into x I am doing. So you will get 4632.5. Fine. 84 into 47.5 is 3990. 66 into 52.5, 3465. 10 into 57.5 is 575. So I have done f of x value. Now I need the value of summation of fx. In the sense you have to add all these values. So use calculator and you add all these values so that you will get 20545. Now let me calculate mean. It is given by 20545 divided by n is sum of frequency. It is 520. So use the calculator and divide it. So when you divide you will get mean as 39.5096. Fine. So x bar I have obtained. So mean is done. Now what we have to calculate is standard deviation. So I'll do it here. Standard deviation formula is given by summation sigma f d dash square divided by n minus sigma f d dash divided by n whole square into h. Right? Now we have to calculate d dash. So d dash can be calculated by using the formula x minus a. So where a is assumed mean, so we have to assume it from the column x. So let me take assumed mean as 37.5. So a value is 37.5. Now let me calculate d. It is given by x minus a. 17.5 minus 37.5. See here, 17.5 minus 37.5. That will give you minus 20. Clear? Similarly 22.5 minus 17.5 is minus 15. So 27.5 minus 37.5 is minus 10. 32.5 minus 37.5 minus 5. 37.5 minus 37.5 is 0. 42.5 minus 37.5 plus 5. 47.5 minus 37.5, 10. Similarly, 52.5 minus 37.5, 15. 57.5 minus 37.5 is 20. So I have calculated D value. Next, what else is required is D dash I need. So D dash is calculated by using the formula D divided by H. So D dash is equal to D divided by H, where H is the common difference. That is 20 minus 15 is 5. 25 minus 20 is 5. So H value is 5. So let me calculate D dash here. Minus 20 divided by 5. I'll just write one value. It is minus 4. Similarly, minus 15 by 4. It is minus 3. Minus 10 by 5. Minus 2. Minus 5 by 5 is minus 1. 0 by 5 is 0. 5 by 5 1. 10 by 5 2. Next, 15 by 5 3. 20 by 5 is 4. So I have done D dash value. Next, I need FD dash square and FD dash. So let me calculate FD dash and FD dash square. So I am doing both. So for statistic and all, if you keep rule book, it is very convenient for you to understand. Anyhow, if you already kept unruled book, not a problem. You have to write properly. So I am going to calculate F into D dash. In the sense, F value is here, D dash is here. So let me multiply. So 20 into minus 4. 20 into minus 4 is minus 80. Similarly, 26 into F is 26 into D dash is minus 3. So I'll just show you here. 26 into minus 3 is minus 78. Fine. So similarly, 44 into minus 2 is minus 88. Next, 60 into minus 1 is minus 60. Next, 101 into 0 is 0. 109 into 1 is 109. Next, 84 into 2 is 168. Next, 66 into 3 is 198. Similarly, 10 into 4 is 40. So I have done FD dash. Now we have to calculate sigma FD dash. I'll just do sigma FD dash. So if you add all the FD dash values, so you're going to get 209. Fine. Now let me calculate FD dash square. Before that, I need the value of D dash square, right? So I'm sorry, I forgot. So let me write D dash square here. If you want, you can write this column at the beginning itself. So it doesn't matter. Wherever you want, you can write. D dash square will be obtained by squaring this value. Minus 4 square is 16. Next, minus 3 square is 9. 2 square is 4. 1 square is 1. 0 square is 0. 1 square is 1. 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. 4 square is 16. Fine, this is the value of D dash square. Now we have to multiply F column with D dash square. Now let me do that. See here, F is 20. 20 into D dash square is 16. 20 into 16 is 320. You just write it here, 320. Similarly, F into D dash square, 26 into D dash square is 9. So you will get 234. Clear? Similarly, F is 44. 44 into D dash is 4. So when you multiply, you will get 176. Similarly, 60 into 1, 60. Next, 101 into 0 is 0. Next, 109 into 1 is 109. Next, 84 into 4 is 336. Next, 66 into 9 is 594. Next, 10 into 16 is 160. So I have done FD dash square. Fine. Now what we need is sigma FD dash square. That is, you have to add all the values of FD dash. So use the calculator. When you're going to add all these values, you will get 1989. 1989. That is, FD dash square is 1989. Hope so it is visible for you. Fine. Now whatever the terms is there in the formula, I have just calculated the same. Clear? And now I am going to substitute the whatever the data I have done. So I'll just do it here. So sigma is equal to square root of sigma FD dash square. FD dash square is 1989 divided by 20 minus FD dash is 209 divided by n is, I'm sorry, it is 520, right? Yeah, 520, because n is 520 whole square into h value is common difference. It is 5. Difference is 5. So I am just writing 5 here. See here, difference is 5. So that is why I have written this. Fine. So hope so it is visible, right? Yeah. Now, if it is not visible, you just write class interval and frequency first, then you can copy this. So since I have done almost 6 to 7 problems, you can just go to that problem. If you want, you can do this by yourself. Now, if you simplify this, you will get square root of 3.825 minus 0.1615 into 5. So if you simplify, you will get 9.75. That is, required standard deviation is 9.57. Fine. Now we need to calculate. See, mean is finished, standard deviation also done, coefficient of variation, that is CV, we have to calculate. It is given by sigma into x bar, sigma divided by x bar into 100. Sigma is 9.57, x bar is 39.5096 into 100. Therefore, coefficient of variation after simplification is 24.2219%. Remember, while writing CV, you have to keep it in percentage. You should not forget this. Hope so everything is clear. And I have given 2 homework problems in this session. Please solve the same in the notes. Further, if you have any doubt, you can free to ask me in the next session. So this completes coefficient of variation. So in the next session, let me do with the new concept. Thank you.